You've arrived at the shore of a mysterious island on a dark and stormy night. You're not sure what drew you here, but lit lanterns lead you to an old building of stone, standing tall atop this little landmass. The weathered wooden door is tightly locked, and no one seems to be answering when you knock. Soaked in rainwater and with no other recourse, you search the shore for another way inside. Your search leads you to a cave that shows signs of habitation, with a heavy metal door embedded in the far wall. It appears to be operated by some sort of mechanism which, by sheer luck, you get working without much effort. Stumbling through a secret passage and passing through some sort of laboratory on your way, you enter the structure above. But just before you realize that someone may be home, the man of the manor himself discovers your trespass. This was an example of an experience someone might have while exploring Pitlo Manor, an interactive explorable world created in the 2D isometric chat client Furcadia, released in 1996. Using Furcadia's creative tools to the fullest extent of my understanding, I set out with the goal of putting together a heretofore unprecedented audiovisual experience that eschews the conventions of Furcadia's presentation.
In other words, I wanted to make something really cool. Everything from the interface to the mechanics, and even the music composed by yours truly, was tailor-made to suit the vision of this lonely island manor. A detailed and immersive soundscape sets the scene. The wooden boards of the dock creak underneath your character's footsteps. Wind blows and birds sing their songs as you wander the island and engage in minute little interactions like knocking on the front door, getting a closer look at objects in your surroundings, shedding some comforting, warm light on the dark and eerie rooms of the manor, never being quite sure if you're the only one here, and even playing a little bit of piano to ease the tension. The sound of which, by the way, actually sounds more muffled and distant if you're outside.
Pitlo Manor began as many creative endeavors do, with a doodle drawn on a post-it note during a particularly slow workday. At the time, I just so happened to be revisiting Furcadia after years of absence. And as I looked over my little spur-of-the-moment drawing, the urge to bring it to life with the tools at my disposal quickly grew. Using the default tile set provided by the game, I constructed the basic layout of the mansion. I then took one big screenshot of the whole thing, brought it into the image editor of my choice, and sketched over it, laying the groundwork for greater detail. Finally, using this sketch as the skeleton of my creation, I composited several photographs, both royalty-free snapshots from the internet and some taken from my own camera roll, to sculpt the world into its final shape. Lastly, to give it that little bit of special something, I decreased the color depth and introduced some heavy yet subtle dithering over the whole thing to give it a faux 90s computer game flavor. After all, a primary inspiration for the general aesthetic feel came from classic PC games like the ever-popular Myst and the less popular Nox, as well as the I Spy series of hidden object games. These came together to influence not only the visual style, but the mood of the mansion itself as well. Repeat this process with the interior spaces, and you've got yourself a pretty nice, creepy, comfy hangout spot.
Welcome to Pitlo Manor.
Now, of course, it's not just the map that got all the attention. The interface also got a bit of a facelift. While not as drastically different from the standard Furcadia design, it nonetheless follows the same design principles as the rest of the manor. There's a standard movement controls, options screens, every single microtransaction toggle button under the sun, but also a couple of significant differences, such as this inventory screen. This mysterious thing we'll get back to later. And, of course, displayed in the top left corner, an external view of the manor that reflects which lights have been lit across the map. These lights can be lit by players using matches found hidden all across the island. Having to find and collect these matches incentivizes players to explore and take in the flavor text, while the external manor view gives the sense that anyone could be watching their activity through the manor, and vice versa. Topping this all off, the light and the dark are directly tied to a dynamic system that makes more and more spooky events occur the more time players spend in the dark. Sounds of the manor settling take on a more ominous tone. Silhouetted figures can be seen in the dark, and who knows whatever events could await you in the shadows. As players search the building, take in its atmosphere, and all around enjoy their time in this eerily welcoming place, they will come across notes left by its enigmatic owner. These notes detail the experiments he performed with knowledge revealed to him in his dreams. If the player can make sense of these, they reveal the purpose of this mysterious menu item. That's right, it's a complete radial magic system, which was, to be fair, taken almost wholesale from Nox, the previously mentioned action-adventure game by Westwood Studios, where magic spells are cast with a similar underlying system. Not only are there a wide range of spell effects, but different combinations of incantations can be used to determine where the spell will be targeted, and how widespread or intense its effects may be. Within reason. It is still Furcadia, and I am working around a lot of limitations. But there's still plenty of fun stuff for players to experiment and play around with. I'm obviously not going to spoil it all right here. Of course, players can't just be expected to enter random combinations into the magical dial pad and discover every magical effect available. How then is a player supposed to find more spells? Why, it's simple. By following in the footsteps of Lord Wondergem himself. His notes did say that he gleaned his knowledge from his dreams. So far-fetched though it may seem, why don't we put our trust in those notes, curl up in bed, close our eyes, and see what happens?
Undo.
As you can see, in exploring the completely random world of your dreams, you can come across creatures and items that provide you with riddles and guides, cluing you in to the methods required to cast certain spells. Just remember what the notes told you, and you'll be on your way to becoming a master magician, well versed in the arts of the magic of dreams. But what lies hidden in the dark corners of your subconscious mind? And if magic from the dream world can cross over into ours, what other effects are your excursions having on the waking realm? There's only one way to find out. Download Furcadia today! Track down the little corner of Allegria Island where I host my worlds, or download the map from my website yourself and play around with it in your own time. It may have the name of Lord Pitlo Wondergem on it, but his manor is for everyone. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy your visit to the island.